So, for the viewers that are watching on YouTube, how would you describe yourself to them in a few sentences?
So I am a Bachelor of Management Studies student at the Waikato University. Well, actually, no longer. I'm finished now, alhamdulillah. But yeah, I've just finished my bachelor's degree. And yeah, I'm someone who's quite involved in the community. Really love community work, and yeah, and it was through one of the leadership forums where I actually met Ayan, and yeah.
Awesome. So, out of your whole life in university, what's something that's really been enjoyable for you?
I think it's the opportunities I took on, right? Like university, yes, like studies is a big part, academics is a big part of your university life, but it's also about having that freedom and the time as well to go and explore quite a lot of different opportunities that you have, especially at university, be it clubs or getting involved with the student union or even anything that's going on at the university, and also enjoying the time with your friends as well. That is a biggie. Like now I'm finished up, I think one thing I wish I did even more than I already did was actually go out and enjoy more time with my friends. I think once you're done with university and you start working, you're working like 40-hour weeks and there's not much time left, right? And so time is not how it is when you're at university. You kind of get to choose when you want to study, how you want to study, when you want to do things. And so you have a lot of flexibility. So yeah, really enjoy yourself and get involved. I think that's like the biggest thing.
So, could you describe your degree in a few sentences and why you chose that specific degree?
I did Bachelor's of Management Studies, and my major was in supply chain management. So around the time I joined university, so I joined uni in 2022, so just still COVID time, just out of COVID around that time, right? And so when I was finishing up high school and I was looking at opportunities and looking at what I should study, I think something that came up was supply chain. There were actually a few of the uncles in the community who was talking to me, and they kind of encouraged me to join this as well, because at COVID, we saw that there were so many supply chain disruptions, right? There were shelves and like supermarkets that were empty and so many problems that came along with it, just because the supply chain wasn't as good as it should be, and it wasn't able to kind of change depending on what was going on. And because of that, they were like, oh, yeah, there is a big industry behind this and there is a big need for more supply chain managers, and so you should study it. And so yeah, kind of got interested in that, started looking into it a bit more, and then I saw that Waikato was offering a supply chain management major, so decided to do that. And then I also did a double minor in data analytics and business analytics. Was always quite interested in like the analytics side of things. So when I saw that I could do them as minors, I was like, why not? So yeah.
So in terms of supply chain management, if let's say a student were to want to pursue it, so at the end of their degree, what are some career opportunities that would be in front of them?
I think so. Some of the main ones you can think of is things to do with logistics, right? Be it transport, like air and cargo, like sea and cargo, sea and like air transport. Operations is another big one. And I think supply chain is quite broad as well, in the sense that when you're looking at supply chain, when you study supply chain, you're looking at pretty much all the aspects of business, and because of that, you could potentially go anywhere you want, but there are still a lot of opportunities within supply chain, so within operations and logistics and transport and warehousing and things like that. Yeah.
So is there a huge scope, especially in New Zealand, for supply chain management? Or if you want to find a career, then it had to be somewhere outside of New Zealand, like Australia?
I think because supply chain is everywhere and kind of need supply chain for the economy to work. Supply chain jobs are there everywhere, but because right now, it is sometimes it could be difficult for people to get jobs just because of the economic climate, and you know that you're never guaranteed a job, right? So a lot of the companies that would have quite a lot of the roles have cut back and have only a few roles, and so competition is quite high. Yet, if you were willing to move, locate yourself and have that flexibility to go, even if it's like some rural place, you will find jobs. But yeah, the supply chain market, like job market globally, you can find jobs pretty much anywhere on the planet. They all need supply chain managers or people with supply chain degrees. So yeah, there is a big scope. It's not like a market where there are not that many jobs left. It's always evolving, and they're always looking for people.
So that's really great to hear, I think, because I'm doing business as well. And I did a supply chain management paper in my first year, and I really enjoyed it. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And I think we both had the same lecturers as well, Jessica.
Yeah. And, I had Jessica for other ones, yeah.
Yeah. She's I think, a very nice lecturer. But I just want to take you back to your high school years. And I want to talk about what subjects you chose in high school to be able to do supply chain management. Because a lot of the students and a lot of friends of mine who are in high school right now, they offer, they choose the 5 Asians, so calculus, English, all the 3 sciences. And they think that if they take these 5 subjects, they'll be able to do any sort of degree in university. So I want to take you back to your high school years, and so what was that like? How did you experience that? What were your grades like, and the whole experience?
High school was quite nice experience. Like I went to a boys only school, Hamilton Boys High School. They were quite strict. Little things like having to tuck in your shirts, having your socks pulled up. Like if your shirt was untucked or if your socks were down, you would get detentions. If your hair was too long, you would get detentions. So there was a really strict school, but I still had fun. Like met a lot of good people, made a lot of good friendships as well. And yeah, even though the school was really strict, I did enjoy my time. And for subjects wise, what I chose, I think I was always interested in some sort of IT side. But I was also quite unsure on what I wanted to do when I was in high school. For a very long time, I wanted to get into the aviation industry. So I wanted to do something like aviation management or even being a pilot. And then then it was like, oh, should I do business? Should I do computer science? Should I do engineering? It was quite confusing. And so to keep my options broad and still be able to do things, I chose, when it came to year 13, I chose economics and accounting. So if I ever wanted to get into any business, I can use that. Then I did calculus and physics if I wanted, so I could get into engineering if I wanted to. And then I did IT as well. So then I could do anything computer science related if I wanted to get into that as well. So I had a few different options. So I could go into business, engineering, or even computer science. And so, but then out of that, I ended up choosing business, because when I was in high school, I actually did, because Waikato University offers something called Uni Start papers. So you can do a full 100 level paper while you're in school. So I decided to do the econs paper when I was in school, and I really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed the lecturer who was teaching that paper, and I enjoyed how the business course was. So I decided to go with that and enrolled myself in the Bachelor of Management Studies degree.
I want to touch upon the Uni Start papers, because I remember I did one as well for mathematics. So is it easier to enroll in a Uni Start paper, or do you have to be an excelling student, a high class student, or anyone, or can anyone enroll in it?
I think you had to get your normal university entrance from NC level 2. I actually forgot what the preregs are for you to be able to do Uni Start papers. It's been quite a while now. But I don't think it was too difficult. I think if you were like even an average student who can, get through high school, you would be able to do Unistart. And if you do have the option to do Unistart or papers like that in your high school, I would really recommend it, because like a lot of other people, when you start university and you haven't done a university paper or you don't know how university works, it can be quite a cultural shock. Like to the change from from high school to university is completely different. Even from the way things work. Like in high school, right, you get told what to do and you have to do your homework. You have to show that. You have to do all of that. Whereas university, it's like, you do you. If you want to do it, you do it. You'll grade grades for it. If you don't do it, then that's on you, right? You fail. There is no one chasing you up, right? And so if you want to get used to that, I think it would be really good if you do like a Unistart paper or something like that.
Was it hard for you to adjust from high school to university?
I think that paper kind of helped, because I kind of knew what had to do, like how the assignments worked, how the exams and tests worked. And so I had a bit of an idea. So the transition wasn't that hard. And plus, because I've grown up in Hamilton, and I've had friends here, and I have friends at uni that I used to go to school with and stuff, it wasn't that hard for me because it still felt like home. But I felt like if I had moved out somewhere else and went to another university, then maybe the experience would have been a bit different.
So because I know a few of my friends, like I was fine, when I went from high school to university, it wasn't that hard for me to adjust. But I know a few of my friends who were struggling to keep up with assignments and the coursework. So what do you think is the best way to manage that stress from going to high school to university?
I think it's all about kind of holding yourself accountable. Like at high school, like I said, your teachers are kind of there to guide you and make sure you get things done on time, right? Whereas in university, you kind of have to be the one, that teacher who guides you, like make sure and holds yourself accountable to get things done on time, right? And it's not as easy as you would think. Like it's quite difficult for a lot of people. Time management is quite hard. Like even myself, I'll find it difficult sometimes to manage my studies with everything else that's going on, and sometimes I do prioritize other things that's going on over my studies, and then afterwards I'm always like, I should have spent a bit more time studying, so it is quite hard to manage, but it's more about kind of finding a rhythm, like having some sort of like timetable or something that you can follow. So you know that, okay, on this day you have this class, so you'll go to that. And then afterwards you can go do something, whatever you want to have fun. And then, but you come back and you do your assignments, or you take some time aside to do your work, at this time on this day or whatever. So if you know that, and if you have some sort of schedule and a roster of when you're going to get things done, then you'll be able to manage. But if you kind of wing it and you go with the flow and leave things till the last minute, it can get really, really stressful, especially with university when all of your assignments and exams and tests all tend to come at the same time. And so when you have like 4 papers we're having assignments and tests for, if you haven't managed your time before that, you're going to struggle a lot.
Did you use any like productivity tools or, any sort of AI apps to help you study?
I think I'm sure everyone uses it now as well. ChatGPT has been, I think, something that's gotten me through university in the last couple of years, especially now, even with like ChatGPT 5 and stuff. There's a lot of features that do help you study. Like for example, there was a paper that I was doing recently where, because of like the class time I had, it was on like a Monday evening, and I wasn't able to go to most of it because there was a lot of other things that was going on which I had to be at, so I wasn't able to go to class. And so when it came to the final test time, I had to kind of crunch like the whole semester's worth of content in like 2-3 nights. And so what I did was I was able to, like, they have like the study and learn feature now, right? So what I did was I downloaded all my lecture slides and notes, and then I uploaded it, and then I got it to teach me the topics. So I got it to go topic by topic and teach me the topic, ask me questions. And so it would ask me questions, and I'll write out answers, and I'll give it back, and then they'll give me feedback. So I learned like that, and when it came to the test, I was able to actually do pretty decently. Like, it wasn't quite difficult for me to do, which was quite surprising, because I didn't actually think it would help, but it actually did end up helping. But also it cuts down a lot of time as well. Like, a lot of the manual work you're doing, be it thinking of questions, or, you know, like I used to previously think of my own exam questions and stuff to practice some answers before the test, but now I can just give it my everything, and it can come up with a question for you, and then you can write it, and it can mark using all the content that you've given it, right? And so in that sense, it does help a lot. So that's a tool that I use quite a bit. In terms of time management, I think it's just having like a physical diary, or even your calendar, where you write down when things are due, when you need to get things done, have reminders. And so you can always use that to check back, and you know when things are due, so you can kind of manage your time that way, so nothing springs up on you in the last minute. But yeah, those are some of the things that I do.
How important do you think exams are? Are they like really important? Like, if you, let's say, were to fail one of them or two of them, will it really detriment your grade at the end of the year, or is it something that can, go by?
I think it depends. So some degrees and some papers, the exams have a D rule. So at Waikato, it's called D rule. So I was saying, if you're on papers where there is no D rule, so there is no requirements for you to get at least a minimum of 40% in your final exam, exams shouldn't matter too much. It still is quite a big part of your grade. Usually exams are worth 30 or 40% of your final grade, so it is still quite a bit. But if you do decently, like if you're getting A's and A pluses in your, or even A minuses in your assignments and your tests, whatever you get in your exam shouldn't matter too much, because you still will get a decent grade. You'll still get like a B or B plus as your final grade. So really depends on what you're doing and how well you're doing throughout the course. Yeah.
So if I were to do very well on my exams, let's say score 90+%, is there something like how at the end of the year in high school they give out awards for best academic student? Is there something like that in university as well?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything. It could be like maybe just within the class, the teacher might like say it in class that so and so did really well, congratulations. But other than that, I actually haven't seen. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but I'm not too sure. I haven't seen anything myself. The only good thing is, like, say you're doing really well in an exam, or even in a paper, you got a really high grade in that paper. There is always opportunities for you to tutor the paper. So if you want to make money as well, and you did really well in a paper, you can go to the lecturer and ask if they are looking for tutors for that paper. Especially 100 level papers, they're always looking for tutors, because they have tutorials or workshops in the 100 levels. And so you could go and ask, and you could, build connections with your lecturers, which can help you when you're applying for scholarships or whatnot. If you want to get a reference from your lecturer, it's really good. 2, you can get some money doing some work for the uni. 3, it's really good on your CV, and also you'll get a lot of good experience public speaking as well, because you're having to teach a class. So yeah, like there is just perks like that, where if you're doing really well in the class, you can end up teaching that class and get money, and also develop your skills as well.
Wow, that's really interesting. I really never knew that. I thought tutors were just like, they were free, they weren't paid or something. I thought it was just like a volunteer sort of thing. But like, how much do they get paid? How much do they get paid average?
It depends on what level of tutor you are. So if you're just starting off, you get like a base pay of like $25, something like $25 or something like that. But if once you start going up, say you've got like 2 or 3 years of experience tutoring, and you end up becoming like the head tutor or whatnot, and you're taking more classes, they'll pay you more according to like your workload. Yeah. So I had like a lot of friends that, I've had a lot of friends that have taken that option of tutoring. I looked into it, but then it didn't really fit like my schedule, so I didn't like go for it. I was also kind of a bit scared as well when I first had the opportunity. Like I got asked in first year if I wanted to be a tutor, but at that time I wasn't as confident, so I said no. But now I'm like, I should have taken the opportunity. It would have really helped. But yeah, so if you do have that opportunity, really do take it.
Alright, update. So I'm editing this podcast episode right now, and there have been a few complications with the sound and the connection of the podcast because we did it online. So that's why I had to cut out the second half of the podcast, even though it was a very good podcast, a very good episode. But unfortunately, due to complications, I had to delete it. But if you still want to connect with Yasir, then I'll have his LinkedIn in the description down below. So please go ahead, check it out. Please connect with him, talk to him, message him if you want any answers about university or anything else. And besides that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, or if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, then go ahead. Subscribe button is down below. If it's red, that means you haven't subscribed. And I'll see you in the next video.